All right. Welcome again, viewers. Thank you for tuning in. This is your boy, Matthew Hickson, owner of GamersGlorified, current head esports coach for Kish College, also known in the FGC as 99 Cent McFury. And you are watching interview number 2 for new series that I will be doing called GamersGlorified versus FGC, where I'm just interviewing local players who are in the FGC community, asking them a few questions, casual conversation, just to keep us in tune and keep us sane as far as, with this pandemic going on, bring you a little bit of content from your local players. So, give it about a few minutes for our interviewer to show up. Ooh. Should be coming any moment. I wasn't doing this, I'd be playing probably some Street Fighter. Trying to get back into the scene of that in a minute. So I gotta send them a new invite, so I'm gonna do that real quick here. Just bear with me a little bit. All right, I sent him the new link on. There he is. Go ahead and accept that. There he goes. What's up, my boy? Can you hear me?
One second, Matt.
Yes, sir.
How's my mic?
Your mic is pretty good. Say something else. Spit a few bars real quick.
Lollipops.
All right, that works.
Cruising down the street. Oh, okay.
What's going on, man? So thank you for joining us. We got Jonathan here. My second interview.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely, man. Letting the listeners and viewers know I'm starting a series called GamersGlorified versus FGC, where I'm interviewing local FGC players, casual conversation, you know, some new content while we're currently stuck in this pandemic with COVID, you know, staying connected as best as we can. So how was your holiday, man?
Most definitely. Man, my holiday was wonderful, man. Got a chance to work all holiday, but either way, it was still.
That's good. So let's get this started here so the listeners get some information on you. So let us know currently, what's your current gamer tag in the FGC, and let us know the story behind the gamer tag.
So my current gamer tag is KillahJVO, former KillahJ. The story behind it was, well, let's start off with KillahJ. KillahJ was a thing that I came up with. Well, really my cousin came up with. My cousin used to call me a killer. He tells the family, that's a killer. That's why it's a killer. And, you know, you just add the J in there and then, man, KillahJ. But the JVO comes from my, you know, full name, which is Jonathan Victor.
Okay.
So, you know, everybody calls me JVO. So in the end, I just added the VO to the KillahJ and just, you know, KillahJVO.
There you go. That's creative. That's creative, man. Good stuff, man. I always like to get the backstory of players' gamers tags. You know, it's kind of makes us who we are. You know, identifies us as a player. You know, some people don't even know you by your first name; they just know you by your game.
It definitely does.
So, awesome. So,
you know, I tried to go the Justin Wong approach one time.
So,
but it didn't work out at all.
That's what's up, man. Killer suit. It does suit you though. It makes people's antennas stick up when they hear it. Like Killer, don't call them that for nothing, you know. So when did you decide? You know, you were like, hey, you know, I think I'm pretty good at fighting games. Let me go ahead and compete and see how that side of the world is. When did you, if you can remember, when did you started competing as far as in the fighting game community?
I'm sorry, you going in and out, man. I'm trying to fix it now.
No worries, man. That's just power technology nowadays. I was asking, when did you decide to start competing in the fighting game community?
Well, back in 2007, there was a group that was started called Diverse Nerd, and basically, along with the most profound TO in Chicago, Miguel Arroyo. They used to combine in those tournaments, and me and the boys are really good at Street Fighter Third Strike, and like me wanting more competition than just the boys. I decided to, you know, take my talents to South Beach, so to speak, and ventured off. And like that's when I found Diverse Nerd and Miguel Arroyo, and you know, and from there, from 2007, I didn't get serious until 2009, and when 2009 came around, that's when Street Fighter 4 came around. Vanilla Street Fighter 4, and that brought the community together wholeheartedly. Like, you know, the competition was fierce. Man, everything was great. So more so in 2007, maybe, but really started getting serious in 2009.
That's what's up, man. You sound like me, man. Prior to moving to Illinois, I was raised in Jacksonville, Florida. So I was pretty diverse in the fighting game community back when Street Fighter Third Strike came out, and not necessarily the arcade, but when it came out to Dreamcast. So one of my buddies introduced me.
Yeah, when it came out, exactly.
And he was like, "Yo, you're pretty good at this." So it got to a point where he was hosting game nights, because that's what you did back then. You know, you go to your buddy's house and call a couple friends over, and have a few beers, grill out, do whatever. And I was waxing them, man, in Third Strike, and they were like, "Yo, dude's pretty good." So prior to like the internet, you know, you had to have your word of mouth was basically who you were playing. So one of his buddies that came one night was from Tampa,
Man.
and I was beating him. So he's like, "Yo, let me go back to Tampa and tell my boys about this." So folks were driving from Tampa to Jacksonville to play me in Third Strike. Somebody from Orlando came. I was waxing him. He went back to Orlando. He was like, "Yo, you need to play this dude in Third Strike. He in Jayville, man." So like, folks would come up, drive like an hour and a half, 2 hours, stay with my homeboy, just so I can play them. And that's kind of how I got started. I was like, man, this is how it spread back then. You know, you played somebody, they went back to their town, they told somebody, you know, you went down, you played their crew. And I didn't go all the way down to South. I went to Tampa, Fort Lauderdale, and played some folks there. But I knew some people you mentioned that are, you know, more high-level players. I just haven't got to the level yet down south to compete with them. But everywhere from like Fort Lauderdale up, when it came to,
Right.
you know, I pretty much had my name for myself, and that's, you know, that's how you had to do it back then. But that's awesome, man.
Yeah, that's definitely how you have to do it.
Yeah.
That's definitely the way. My journey within that, I started off with a local arcade, and that's where I met some of my best friends. We've been friends 25 plus since then, and like started off there at the local arcade, and kind of ventured off of it. I wasn't supposed to, because my mom was like, "I don't want you, on the streets just to play video games." And
right.
I definitely did it a lot,
Right.
and wandered all the way, to the south side, north side, and even
sounded like you had to do the same thing I did. Like when I was there with my parents, I had to convince my parents otherwise where I was going for the weekend, whether it be like a convention that I just made up for that weekend, but I was actually going to kick it with my boy to play some Third Strike, because folks were challenging me, but you weren't gonna let me go just to go play games. You want to go where? You gonna drive where? Nah. So that's what's up, man.
Trust me, I had to tell my mom that I was going to the laundromat, and like the money that she would give me for the laundry. Don't get me wrong, laundry was did for the sake of not getting a butt whooping.
Right.
But, best believe the extra quarters was definitely spent at the arcade.
For real. Start hand drying some clothes. Let it sit out in the sun. So, as far as when you compete, like, how do you prepare for upcoming tournaments or majors? Is there like a routine that you go through, or do you just pretty much just freestyle it, wake up, put on your kicks, eat, and go? Or do you have a routine or mindset that you get into prior to competing?
Well, it's a gift and a curse with me. I'll usually day of tournament, I'll wake up so confident, with the utmost confidence in the world, and like that's me in general. I'm a very confident person. Sometimes it bit me in my ass, and sometimes it helps confidence. It helped me plenty of times. But as I was getting serious within the fighting game community, what I would do day of is I would just my bad matchup with my character. Back then in Street Fighter 4, pretty easy game. So you can go over your character's bad matchups and and it's almost like learning another character in a sort of sense. But I would go over my character's bad matchups. Combos on both sides, about 50 to 100 times, and then I had a little mantra, almost like Kobe Bryant's mantra, be the best, you are the best, and I repeat those things to myself.
Absolutely.
Sometimes it bit me in the ass, admittedly, but other times, going in with that confidence, it feels so good. And not only that, it's like, it makes you, there's a way to explain it. How can I?
I know what you're saying, and I'm pretty sure everybody listening that's competing on the regular or have competed numerous times know what you're talking about. It's hard to explain verbally, but we feel the energy that you're talking about. It's almost like sometimes.
But oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. I was just going to say it's almost like that kind of same feeling where you've been on the same roller coaster numerous amount of times, but you still get those jitters before it starts, almost like your first match in tournament.
Exactly.
Like, yo, I competed in many tournaments, It's that first match. You're like, yo, you start to get those little jitters. You start fidgety and, you're like, yo, I can't lose my first match, bro. I ain't come all the way down here to get sent to losers. But, somebody got to lose. In my mind, it just ain't once you get that first one out the way, you're like, whoo, you loosen up, you're good now. Like, where's my next match? Oh, I got to wait another 20 minutes? Oh,
Get cold hands and everything.
Yep.
Everything after that, it's the worst. But little side note about me, and some people won't believe this, that I don't know how to play. Never went over to me. It's either 1 and 2 or 2 and 2.
Right.
But never 0 and 2.
Never 0 and 2, right? And then it's
I want to knock on wood on that one because I don't know in the future.
Right. Especially that I don't like early morning brackets. I'd rather have like midday, mid-afternoon. I hate getting put in the early brackets. Like the first one type of thing.
Early morning brackets suck.
They do. And those who know, they suck. Especially if you are out with your boys or something, got a room. I gotta be like, yo, dog. I know y'all need to practice, but your bracket ain't till 1. Your bracket ain't till 11. Mine is at the butt crack of dawn. I'm gonna need y'all to either put on some headphones or play in sign language because I'm gonna need to get some sleep. Cause ain't nothing worse than trying to get some sleep. Everybody else playing.
But
like, yo. But good stuff, man. Good stuff. So as far as the fighting game community scene, how can we make it better? What can we improve on? There's always improvements that can grow the community, make it stronger. In your opinion, what are some things that we could do to make it improve?
In my humblest opinion, the do to make the FGC improve is to be there, be there for more for each other. This Street Fighter V season that's going on, Street Fighter V, this is the strongest that I've ever seen our community have. I've been around for a very long time, and I've seen it come and go. Even top players, shouts out to Flo. back then our community was kind of separate. Everybody was doing their own thing, and people would have to figure out on the fly.
Yeah, it was
But
very.
our community now, it's, what was that, man?
Oh, I was saying back in the day, the time that we grew up, it was very cliquish. You know what I'm saying? Like you had your crew, I had my crew.
Yeah,
We played the same game, but we never traded tech. We never talked about, hey, you could do this to improve, or hey, this is why you kept getting caught with this, and this is why I kept getting hit with this. We kind of just let it go in the wind, and we were like rivals for no reason when we should have been like a group as a community. And nowadays, I see, like you said, with Street Fighter 5, it's the strongest that I've seen as a community as well. But yeah, that's
it's definitely the strongest.
yeah, that's absolutely right. That's a good one, man. That's a good one because I've been in locals and majors and stuff like that. It's starting to loosen up, especially with like major players. Like back then it was like top players played with top players. And that kind of kept top players at the top. You know what I mean?
Right. And,
We had to break out on our own or get lucky, as some top players would say, if one of us would like beat them or something, put them in losers bracket, then people would make some noise. They'd be like, yo, who knocked them out of bracket? And then you'll start getting a little bit of, I guess clout is what they call it, but a little bit of momentum
little notoriety with
from
it.
everyone else to be like, yo, who put him in, losers? And then they start paying attention to you a little bit more, you know what I mean? Just to see that if it's really legit or if it was a fluke in their
Yeah.
eyes. You know what I mean? I'm like, how was the best of three a fluke? So, but now I'm starting to see it open up a little bit more. There's still some of that going on.
There's more coaching going around too.
Yeah.
There's definitely a lot more coaching going on than it was way back when. And and players are now opening up more. Shouts out to Smug. Punk even shares information. But way back about Justin and everything. Justin was the type of player that to ask.
Yeah.
And like it's action, definitely share that information.
That's why I go down and say, I'm not getting home, no way. But you getting home on what? See, that's what I'm talking about. This Come on, girl. I need
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Well, hell yeah.
Okay.
How many you make?
I'm visiting my
You're good.
mom.
So currently, right now, are you currently sponsored? If so, how's that been? If not, is there anybody on your radar as far as sponsorship?
No, because right.
Yes, I am currently sponsored. My sponsorship with GamersGlorified. Shouts out to the game. One second.
Yeah. Little technical difficulties here. But what he was saying was he is currently sponsored. I myself, like I mentioned in my other interview, prior to COVID, I reached out to a couple players locally that I was gonna reach out and sponsor them, to pretty much get them a brand, get their name out there. Sponsors, find out who the player is, go forward. So Jonathan is one of the ones that I reached out to sponsor. Prior to COVID, I was getting a contract out for him and everything. Him and a few other players, just trying to get them recognition and get them starting and going and stuff like that. Then COVID hit and it prevented me from doing that because they ceased and desist all live local events major events, stuff like that. So as the pandemic fades out and we get to our new normal and stuff like that, Jonathan will still be one of the ones that I will be sponsoring locally, just to get his name out and going. Now, if somebody reaches out to him, like Red Bull or somebody, and they want to sponsor him, absolutely. That's the whole purpose of me.
Oh man, a Red Bull sponsor.
From there. So let me go ahead and I think he's back here.
Sponsorship will be on.
You back with us?
Can you hear me?
Yep. I was just letting the viewers know,
All right.
what's going on, and how you are one of the few that I'm going to be sponsoring moving forward to help establish you as a player and get your brand going and everything like that. So definitely excited.
And I'm definitely excited about being with you guys, being with GamersGlorified. Past sponsorships that I had, Level Up Chicago, Evil Geniuses, those were great, but being in a small group that's focused on its players, just like this, it's a great step. It's a great step, and I am honored to be a part of the group.
Thank you, man. Appreciate that, man. We got a lot of stuff coming. Hopefully next year, kind of be back to whatever our new normal is, and we'll be able to push forward and get that going. So absolutely. So
yeah, 2021, man.
Yes, sir. Now, as far as a player, what would you say your weaknesses and what your strengths are?
I am too cocky. That's not it. Once upon a time, I was called a lazy player, and which was true. I've done everything in my power to fix that. I never played charged characters in my life, and coming from Street Fighter 4, from a grappler main, my main was T-Hawk,
yeah,
and into Street Fighter 5, where my main is Bison. And I'm not a day 35 or 135 Bison main. I am a day 0 Bison main. And learning, how charges work and everything, I think I put an end to the laziness, but more so, my weaknesses is, decision making. Sometimes I kind of fold under pressure.
And we all
But
do.
overall, as a player,
Yeah.
yeah, you're right. Everybody sometimes folds under pressure. And that, it's a must. And the only thing that you can do as a player is to constantly go high pressure situations. And I definitely took the time to do so. Ignite Gaming has been so much help. My locals have been so much help with it, man. And we have some amazing players in Chicago, and facing up against them and learning from them, and having them put you in those situations, it has helped so much.
Yeah,
so
man.
much.
People don't really fully understand the power of the local scene. Back in the day, the arcade was the local scene, and everybody went to the arcade.
Yeah.
When that started dying down, it kind of messed up the local scene, but the local scene is needed, man. That's our stomping ground. That's our training training stage in reality. You know what I mean? And that's
locals show you how good you are.
Exactly. Back in the arcade, man, you always knew somebody. He was like, oh, this guy, he's running in. He's the king of the hill before there was a king of the hill mode. And then when he got taken out, there was a new king of the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boy.
But that local scene is a strong scene too as well, man. And just to piggyback off of what you said about, you know, you never really played charge characters. I got, you know, the character I play, yeah, charge move. But that charge can get difficult sometimes. You can, you know, yeah, you hold him back
It
when
definitely can.
you dash forward, and then you hit that button, that charge move come out when you don't want it to come out. You got to remember, like, dang, I was holding back a few seconds. You know what I mean? When you kind of just like trying to
Right.
player and it come out, and then you're like, dang, now I got to get punished because he's going to block it. You know, it comes out and you don't want it to do it. You know, if it's a sonic boom, it's pretty much safe. But I play in the college, so sometimes I come at you with that charge and I don't want to, and I'm like, ooh, I'm going to eat this now. So
Oh, dang.
I can totally understand the, you know, the charge aspect of it. So, but that's good, man. That's good. So,
Man, I definitely was feeling it the first half of Street Fighter V, and like, you know, I cycled so many characters after Bison. It was like, man, maybe Bison is not the move for me. Maybe I should learn Mika. Maybe I should learn Ryu. You know, and I was going back and forth with like a lot of characters, and then, you know, all of a sudden things hit me, and you know, and I got so used to everything, you know.
Mr. Oppression is what I call him. So as far as
that's worse character.
Absolutely, man. So as far as the fighting game perspective, like what game are you known for? Like when they hear your gamer tag, what do players identify you as far as which game, which fighting? My last interview was with Lionheart. His was Smash. So, you know, when KillahJVO come up on the screen, they'd be like, okay, we know he's playing this game. Or if we see you on top 8, or we know it's in this game. Like, you know, what game do players know your gamer tag as for the most part?
So funny enough, this is the crazy thing. I started off in tournament really as a Smash player.
Really?
Smash Melee was all the buzz. My local game Crazy was doing Smash tournaments like crazy, and then exploring everything else that was on GameCube. I came across this game called Naruto. Now, Naruto Gekko Ninja Tyson 4 specifically, and my friends picked it up from the local anime convention. Shouts out to Asen.
Right.
My friend picked it up from the local convention, and we tore that game to pieces. That game stayed on in the house so much, and but getting back to the question, the game that people would normally know me by way back when would be Naruto. But since I developed so much as a player, it's Capcom games. Everything Capcom has done, I've been there, and I've been to the top with it. Marvel 2, Marvel 3, Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter 3, Street Fighter 4, Street Fighter 5. If it was a Capcom game, more than likely I was in it, and more than likely I was known for it.
It's not like me. Mine was Third Strike, anything Marvel verse attached to it. That was what my name was associated with. I have 2 younger brothers. The middle brother, his was associated with Tekken. So I'm the Street Fighter.
Oh wow!
My middle one is a Tekken. Yeah, he's a Tekken fiend, man. So he was known for Tekken back in Florida. We were just good. And then my youngest brother, he had the best of both worlds because he played both of us. So he was kind of in the middle. You never really knew with him. He was just like, what's your last name? Hickson? Yo, you got a brother that plays Street Fighter? And another one that played Tekken? And they're like, oh, the bigger threat than all of us because he had the best of both worlds. He could flip a coin and be like, all right, Let me see what I'm gonna be playing today. Boom, boom. You know, so that's
Oh,
awesome.
you playing Tekken today? Let's go. Oh,
Right,
you playing
right.
Street Fighter today? Let's go.
Exactly.
But let's not get it twisted though. It's known for I'm known for Capcom games, but Naruto's my baby. If anyone out there that's watching this, that's looking at this, if you want to play Naruto, let's go. I'm always down. I love that game. That's my bread and butter. I will forever stay behind that game. But as of late, it's been Capcom.
There you go.
Everything Capcom.
There you have it, folks. Nice. So now, as far as the FGC, and I like to ask everybody this question: like, what annoys you the most about it?
Oh man, we finished talking about one of them, the clicks. You know, I'm a very friendly person when it comes to meeting new people and everybody. You know, I don't exclude no one. Heck, when I first met you, man, like, you know, man, we vibed right then and there. As you know, we were fighting our butts off in Street Fighter 5.
Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. It was that combo breaker, man. Hotel across the street, man. Man, I had fun.
Yeah, buddy.
Everything else, man. Getting Subway by that Walmart too.
Oh man, that Walmart was so clutch. That Walmart was so clutch.
Oh, it was all in walking distance too. I was like, shoot. Even though we was crossing the highway.
I mean, you know, we was crossing the highway when, you know, it was necessary. That nourishment was so necessary. And it was so clutch.
It was. But yeah, man.
What was the other restaurant that was across the street?
It was the hotel, Walmart. It was a Culver's.
Yeah, that Culver stayed packed, and like they stayed sold out. Like, it was impossible to get food from that Culver.
Dude, so let me tell you a quick story real quick. So it was at a combo breaker. I can't remember which year because I go every year. But I had lost to
right.
And it was a really good match. It went down to like final round, final match, and it was like a chess match, man. The first person to slip up, make a wrong move, throw out a move that's punishable on block is gonna lose, right? And I happened to lose it, and I wanted to catch up with dude because it was one of those matches where we got better as we were playing, if that makes sense.
Right.
You know, and those are the matches that I love.
No, that makes perfect sense.
I need to catch up with dude, get his info somehow. And I was like, you know, everybody was in a rush, you know, because your next match is coming, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, man. So I was like, I'm probably not going to run into this guy. So I ended up going to Culver's, and he was in line, and dude hit me on the back. He tapped me on my shoulder. He was like, yo, McFury. And I was like, oh, snap. So he was thinking the same thing as I was. He was like, yo, we ended up trading information, got each other's Twitter. I still play with him to this day. But that kind of correlates with the next question. Like, what do you like about the most in the FGC? Like, moments like that I just explained is one of the reasons why that, you know, I kind of love the FGC. You know what I mean? As much as
right. I like
this, there's so much connection, man, that you click up with people. Not even click up. I wouldn't say click up. That's the wrong word. But like connect with people on that one-on-one personal basis to help develop your skills better as a player.
Indeed. You know, I can name you about two things that I like about the FGC. I have a long list about the FGC, about, you know, likes, a whole long list of positives. But the two that I like, the competition.
Yeah.
The competition every year gets even more fierce, and I'm a very competitive person. I would like to say I'm not, but like compared to my family, I would like to say I'm not. But my friends all see the competitiveness within me. I like, you know, I'm a very competitive person, and I like to stay in it, and like, you know, and look, you know, and there's nothing like a strong opponent or a different opponent to show you what you can work on.
Exactly, and just to give you that mutual
There's
respect.
nothing like it. And the second thing that I like is the camaraderie. You know, every combo breaker, every God, I can't even think of the tournament right now.
Frosty Fountains?
Every UFC, Faustin, every UFGT, every Fight It Out, every man, it's been a lot of tournaments. Every final round, everything, man, everything, every tournament that I went to, and I went to with friends and and acquaintances and everything, we bond on a different level when it comes to that.
Absolutely.
And it's like you surround yourself with like-minded people, and then it's kind of hard to explain to me, but but every year that I go to a tournament, I feel that camaraderie comes closer and closer and closer, and the guys that I have behind me, these guys are my brothers, man. I will have their backs forever, and and vice versa. But the camaraderie after, before and after the tournament, it becomes so great, and it's a great bond.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. Totally agree. And then it's like another little quick story. Like every time I go to a major, like Combo Breaker or Frosty, in Illinois, like we all want that one moment, right? We all want that one shining 2 minutes of fame where they tell you on stream next match. Like what? Oh snap! I'm on stream.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it's for real now. Folks are gonna be watching me live.
That's the time to show off.
So let me tell you, yeah, I've been competing in Combo Breaker. Probably I moved here 2010, probably since 2013 maybe and up, if I'm not mistaken. Same thing with Frosty. So last year, or the last Combo Breaker, 2019, that I went to, I had a match that was gonna be on stream, right? So I'm like, oh, bet. I'm even win or lose, my personality just gonna shine. And guess what happened? The power went out for 45 minutes. Something happened where they had to move the stop everything. I'm like, what? The power went out. So I'm like, okay, that's all right. It's a little hiccup. That gives me time to collect my thoughts, not get a little bit nervous. I'm about to be on stream, Power comes back on, right? I'm like, where's my match at? Everything got shuffled around. I was no longer on stream. I was on a regular,
Oh.
I was like, no.
Oh, that's wag, bro.
Fixed my beard up, made sure I had on some Dio. No, I'm about to be swag on there, win or lose. Nope.
Well, I'm about to try.
Maybe next year. I'm like, So it was funny because.
And that's the worst feeling, man.
That is, man. I felt down a little bit, but I was like, you know what?
That's definitely the worst feeling.
Let me get out of my head. I got a match to win. Let me get out of my head. Let me focus on the match. And I was like, dang, but I was ready, boy. I was like, ooh, about to be on stream. I'm texting my boys, yo, this is the Twitch channel about when that match coming up. It never happened. But
trust me, I know the feeling. I highly know the feeling. Because I try to get every one of my matches on stream. So, so I can, do that combo that I've been working on,
Right.
A real special combo
let me get
that's only,
that don't nobody do. Let it be first here. No. No, sir.
I feel like I was Problem X before Problem X.
There you go.
And then, I just never got the screen time.
Exactly. It's all about the screen time. Well, you know what? That's probably going to change now with everything being online and stuff like that. Everybody has screen time, as you can see.
Yeah.
But back then, that screen time, that was like your 30 seconds of fame. You know what I mean? Win or lose, just
exactly.
Keep the composure, So, all right, man.
I hated that. Don't take it away from me.
Let me talk to the tech over here. Let me talk to IT real quick. Y'all need to move this back. All right, so end this off on a high note here. top 3 fighters of all time for you, what would they be and why?
Oh man, top 3 fighters. Man, you put me on the spot there. Top 3 fighters. I'm gonna start at number 1. Number 1 had my heart, no matter how horrible the game was. People say it was. Number 1 will always be Street Fighter 3. Not Third Strike. Street Fighter 3.
Okay.
And like Street Fighter 3, man, that's the one that kept me interested in Street Fighter. Number 2 was Street Fighter Alpha. I can remember times of being 5 and going to the arcade with my uncle, and like he would play on the pinball machine, and right next to the pinball machines would be Street Fighter Alpha.
Nice.
So Street Fighter Alpha is definitely up there. And number 3, ooh, that's a tough one. Number 3. Number 3 will have to be Capcom versus SNK 2.
Ah.
And the reason being, I have very, very good fond memories of that game. I'd never played an SNK game before that. And so jumping in Capcom versus SNK 2, I go straight for the hard stuff, so to speak. I look at Geese Howard, and instantly fall in love. It was like, man, I love this character. This character is me. I'm this character, and I'm practicing. I spent the whole summer with my best friend just practicing Geese. Practicing till like I could get everything perfect, and like, you know, every single day in that summer, every single day on that vacation, we were in the lab, we were playing, and we had fun. There was no saltiness. There was no, you know, hey, run that back. You did some cheap stuff. Man, it was all fun. It was all fun.
Best moments when you have that, man. And Capcom versus SNK is probably, it's in my top 10 of all time. Not the second one, just the first one, because it was the original. Dude, the artwork was gorgeous, the graphics, the music, everything. It was great. It was
But
classic.
Tubo is true love making.
It was, man. And it's funny. Is it just me, or is it like you're either a Capcom or a SNK player? Like, if somebody plays SNK games, like King of Fighters, like they don't really mess with Street Fighter like that. Like I don't. Like I play solely Capcom. I'll dilly dabble in SNK games because I love fighters. But it's like I haven't come across anyone who was strong in one and equally as strong in the other at the same time. It's either or. It's either SNK games or Capcom games. I haven't come across anyone personally.
You know what? Funny enough, I came across a guy that was very strong in both. His name is Webster Snow. Shouts out to him. Is one of the longest running TOs in the Midwest. He would play a SNK game, and you can see the fun and the skill that he had for such game. Yeah. And then you go over to a Capcom game like Street Fighter, and you can definitely see the skill that he would toes in that. And like, I was amazed at him for a minute until I started doing it. Then I was like, hey, there's nothing special, bro. I got you this time.
I think, and honestly, I think what it is just the command inputs. In Street Fighter, yeah. You would think it'd be the same way in SNK, but it's not. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, I got to do an extra what?
Yeah. SNK allows no shortcuts within their inputs.
I'm like,
no shortcuts at all. If you're gonna do a deadly raid, you're gonna do the deadly raid the correct way.
The correct way. You're like, whoa, yeah, good stuff, man. Good stuff.
And honestly, I gotta thank SNK Games because without it, my execution would be butt.
That's true. it's coming from the other side in. If you play SNK games and then you go to Capcom, you be like, oh wait, what? This shortcut stuff?
This is easy. This is easy.
Right?
You told me I can just press down forward, and get it short. You can.
Right?
Oh man, easy sauce.
Double tap it diagonally twice and we in there? All right. Good stuff, man. Well, man, I appreciate you, man. Thanks for being my second interview. Loving this
And
series.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Absolutely, man. I got more lined up. You know, I'll let you know when everything is posting so you can check it out. You know, if you know anybody that you think may be interested, let them know, shoot them my way. I want to continue to do this, you know, just checking up. Really, it's just to check up on you guys, man. You know, I miss you all, even those that I don't know personally, but I just know at competitions and we just kick it and chop it up, man. You know, they're still family to me. So, you know,
Exactly. And I have something to say to you too, Matt. We've been missing you, bro. We haven't seen you online in a minute. Like, you know, I know Wednesday night fights has been slow. But, you know, we have a stream going on Monday night. You know, Monday Night Mayhem. Me and Nightwing Xavier. Shouts out to him. And, like, you know, we're playing various fighting games like Soul Calibur, Mortal Kombat. You know, we're playing so many fighting games. And, like, you know, come on back home, man. We miss you.
Absolutely, man.
You know you're always invited.
I'll definitely get on that, man. Definitely, man. So hopefully the new year.
We've definitely been missing you, though.
Will get us some more excitement, man. But I appreciate it, man. Thanks for being a guest on my interview. You know, stay tuned for some more, man. Like I said, let others know if they're interested. I'll be more than happy to interview them, man, just to see how everybody's doing, man. And this will be something to look back at, you know, a few years from now, during 2020 when we were in this whole pandemic. So I would like to say, man, be safe. Definitely.
Hey, who knows?
Man, for Monday Mayhems, man. And, you know, have a good night, man. Appreciate you.
You do the same. Thank you for having me, man.
Absolutely, man. Take care. Those who are watching.
All right, you too.
Gamers Glorified. Stay tuned for the next one. Peace.